Welcome, everybody. College football week 7 is in the books, which means college football week 8 is here. I'm Joe with the Game House, and today we're going over NFL draft prospects to watch in college football week 8. All right, so as mentioned, we're going to be going over the draft prospects to watch in college football week 8. As a reminder, we're going to do 5 prospects each week. There might be, sometimes we miss prospects you think we should be watching this week, but we try to do no repeats on this, so maybe we'll get to guys later on in the season. So, for instance, we're going to talk about Olu Fashanu for Penn State this week. And also a good matchup to watch is Kalen King, the corner they have going up against Marvin Harrison. But I'm interested in Olu Fashanu because the tackle class is kind of pretty good at the top with him and Joe Alt, so I'm watching him. So let's get it started. Let's start with Olu Fashanu. Penn State's fantastic season so far, going 6-0 through the first 7 weeks. Offense has been great, been a little bit balanced with the run and the pass so far, but they really haven't been tested so far this season. The offensive line's been a big factor of why they've been playing so well, and Fashanu is the best offensive lineman they have. He plays left tackle for Penn State. Could have gone pro last year. Instead decided to come back this year and play one more year at Penn State, and he did need some more development, so that is encouraging to see, but it's always interesting to see someone pass up on a first-round draft pick to come back to school. He's shown to be both light on his feet and adept at both run and pass blocking. In Week 8, they're going to be going up against Ohio State. Buckeyes feature several future pros on the defensive line, specifically make things challenging. He'll have a couple different matchups, with JT Tuimoloau, Jack Sawyer, even some interior guys if they move out or whatever for Michael Hall or Tyleik Williams. So he's going to need to make sure he's helping both the run and the pass. It's going to take a lot for Penn State to win in Columbus in this one, especially with an inexperienced quarterback in Drew Allar, who's, started this season and done okay, but hasn't had a game like this where he's going into the horseshoe and playing such a good defense. So a lot's going to be asked of this offensive line, and Fashanu could step up and help solidify his status as maybe the first offensive tackle taken in the 2024 NFL Draft. All right, so we have JT Tuimoloau, the guy I mentioned earlier, the edge rusher for Ohio State. I'm interested to watch some of these edge players kind of separate themselves in this draft class. Yes, we've had like Jared Verse, who started there, Laiatu Latu from UCLA, who's got some injury history. So let's see if some other guys maybe who can work their way up the board. Ohio State hasn't played 100% smoothly this year, but they're undefeated heading into this week. Defense has taken a giant step forward this season, ranked 3rd in the country, allowing just 9.7 points per game. Defense has just wreaked havoc. Tuimoloau has been one of the best edge rushers in college football. 19 total tackles, 4 tackles for loss, and 3 sacks on the season. Now, as mentioned, he's going to be going up against a good offensive line that features Fashanu. Power rushing style, could create some pressure. He's even worked on his pass rush moves. He showed a really good spin move last week for Ohio State that I just didn't know he had in him. And he could have a big game. Last year, he was the reason Ohio State kind of won the game. He had some big plays. I believe he had like an interception and some forced fumbles and some sacks. He had a really good game and deserves to be remembered for that. But also, if he could do it again this year, it would really help his draft stock. This is like probably his last year in college. He can work his way up these edge rankings. As mentioned, there is Jared Verse, Dallas Turner, and Laiatu Latu, but there's issues with all of them so far this year. I do expect Jared Verse to be the first one taken, but maybe Tuimoloau could be the first-round pick if he continues to play this well, which he is currently projected to be. All right, so we have J.C. Latham out of Alabama. Alabama has 1 loss on the season, but it's had some other close games, especially last week against Arkansas when they won by 3 points. Not been operating smoothly, their offensive line especially, but Latham's one of the players who has stood out as being good. I think he's been maybe the bright spot on this offensive line and kind of helped them get going. We know they still have to figure out the quarterback situation, and Jalen Milroe is getting better each and each week, so we'll see if that continues to happen. So Week 8, Alabama plays Tennessee. Because they've been inconsistent through the air this season, Alabama's going to need to be able to control the line of scrimmage to win this game, and Latham can help them establish the run, and they should be able to get the win over the Volunteers. Now, this is a different Tennessee team than what happened last year. They're not throwing the ball over the field, not throwing it deep. They're more of a running team. They're playing good defense. So it's going to be a little bit more of a tougher challenge. I do expect Alabama to win this one. It is a deep offensive tackle class, but Latham could be the 3rd one selected behind Joe Alt and Olu Fashanu. So I think it is a big weekend to watch these tackles and see how they could finish down the stretch with some of these big matchups. Number 4, Troy Franklin, the wide receiver for the Oregon Ducks. Oregon had their first loss of the season last week to Washington. Played well all season otherwise, though. Ducks offense has been the highest scoring in the FBS so far this year. Bo Nix gets a lot of the credit, but he has Troy Franklin, who's been on fire, a really productive player for him. 40 catches, 689 yards, and 8 touchdowns this season. In Week 8, the Ducks will take on Washington State. They need to show they can bounce back from that loss to Washington. Franklin can help them do that. Washington State's proven to have a pretty solid defense at times. They did lose last week, too. That's kind of put a damper on this game. But Franklin's been able to use his size well, make contested catches, create big plays. Plenty of good wide receivers in this draft class. So if he wants to go first round or even second round, he has to continue to play well. And at this level, I think he's a good player. I think he's going to go, maybe back into the first round, early second as things currently sit. But, just has to continue to play well with how many good receivers we're going to see here. Graham Barton, the offensive tackle for Duke. Now, Duke's had a good start to the season, too. Only loss being to Notre Dame. Very tough game. Offense has been great at times, but they also have won games with starting quarterback Riley Leonard in. They won last week with him out against NC State, I believe, in a game where I think they completed 4 passes. But the offensive line has really helped them either way, whether Riley Leonard plays or not. And Barton's been able to put his name in the list of best offensive tackles in the country, possibly being that 3rd offensive tackle selected in the NFL draft. We'll have to see if that holds up. So this week, they're going to be going up against Florida State. Unknown whether Riley Leonard's going to play. It could be a blowout if he doesn't play, but if he does, they got to make sure he's protected, making Barton's job really important. And also, he's going to be going up against guys like Jared Verse, who we've mentioned earlier in the video. So he's going to have to open up running lanes if Leonard isn't there. Make sure he's protected if Leonard is there. If he can play well against a gifted defensive line, that really does help his stock. He's already built his stock up. It's not easy for guys playing at Duke to get that recognition, but he's played well, and he deserves a lot of the credit for how he's played. So those are the 5 NFL draft prospects I'm watching this weekend. Let me know in the comments below which ones you are going to watch this weekend. For now, thanks for watching. We'll see you guys next time.